let's jump right into it so we can check out these blind bans quickly. I wonder if BKid is going to switch anything up. Of course, well, nope, not really. Same exact blind bans. Wild Soul and Jereziah yet again. Of course, they do not want to play against Wild Soul. It really is one of the go-to heroes for Trademark eSports, being played by Zai in that suicide role. I outlined it last game. If those of you who weren't listening, it's basically because you can get complete free lane control using that bear, pulling the creeps to your tower, and then CSing freely, even if it's against 2, even if it's against 3, doesn't matter. Yeah. That's the beauty of Wild Soul. And then it's basically a suicide hero that gets a free 20 to 24-minute mock. Yeah. Anyway, that's why he's banned. They go ahead and ban him as well as Jereziah. Now, Hellborn do ban Tundra and then Pebble, so those are great first pick worthy heroes, and they don't want BKid to get them. And locks have already begun. We got Pebbles, or sorry, Bubbles and Pebbles just seems to get to me, but Pubbles combination. But Bubbles and then Tempest, Keeper of the Forest. So lots of junglers here being locked from Minuts.
Yeah, right off the bat, a lot of AOE synergy as well with those 3 heroes in general. So yeah, very, very powerful lock pool to start things off here between Complexity and Trademark eSports. Obviously, with the Tundra and Pebbles blind ban, I mean, you really don't question that at all. It's just at the same time, they just both happen to be played last game. Pebbles obviously by Beacon on Complexity, and then Tundra was played by Zai, I believe, for Trademark eSports. But not going to see those 2 heroes this game as a result of the bans, but Jungle will continue. Ophelia is going to be locked here, and then Plague Rudder actually on top of that. So the final hero to be locked here from Trademark eSports, we'll see who it ends up being. Draconis. No, just kidding. We'll see who's it going to be here from Trademark eSports, and then move, of course, into the banning phase. It's going to be Tremble, actually. Now, I know there's been a little bit of Tremble discussion lately, and Tremble plays somewhat. Obviously, KZ is a player that comes to mind. He's not in this series, though. Do you see the possibility of Tremble being picked up, though, or is that more just a trollish lock?
I think he could actually be picked up. It would fit the lineup that TDM does frequently quite well. And that's a strong solo short, a strong dual lane mid, and a very, very a suicide hero. They normally do Wild Soul. It usually fits well. I expect the Glacius, by the way, to be banned. I was expecting first ban coming out from BKid, but they could also first pick him. So now that I think about it, because they do have that first pick. Yeah. And if it's not banned, if Glacius is not banned, I definitely think they're going to first pick him. I think how Glacius has actually made it not being locked. That's one thing I think about. When Ophelia is locked, when you're the Hellborn team, you really have to lock Glacius. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed. Because that gives Complexity not only the ability to ban it out and then first pick that Ophelia, knowing that Ophelia can't get countered, really, but they can also just first pick Glacius, which is a first pick worthy hero. Yeah. So now that I think about it, if you're the Hellborn side, you really do have to lock that Glacius, or at least blind ban him. But when have we seen a blind ban Glacius?
Never, but hey, I wouldn't put it past them. So, Parasite, Moraxis, Dark Lady, and Witch Slayer are actually going to be the 4 bans so far. So, you talked about Witch Slayer even a little bit last game, wasn't eventually picked up, but Complexity loves to run that solo Witch Slayer. So, TDM doesn't want to have to deal with it this game, apparently. And we'll just go ahead and throw out that ban. Draconis is still on the board. I brought that up earlier, I know, especially in this series, if he is optional to be picked up, I wouldn't be surprised to see him picked up. Fade's going to be the final ban by Complexity. And now we have the last choice for Trademark eSports. Will it be that Draconis? Will it be perhaps a Glacius here? We'll have to wait and see what it eventually is. But yeah, using a little bit of extra time so far for both of the teams. Yeah, but not too much.
TDM is in a rut here because they can't just really ban out Glacius because they have to have that hope that they can pick it up for the counter to Ophelia. But also they can't really keep it there because pretty sure Complexity is going to first pick Glacius. They still have a number of carries to choose from. They can still go Magebane. Fade is off the board. They can go Silhouette. They can go Draconis. They can even go FA, by the way, who's a hero we've seen a lot of. They do go ahead and ban Draconis. I definitely agree with that. I think of the hard carries right now, it's the most difficult to deal with. Yeah. I actually don't think that Complexity was going to run him, though. I do know that they're going to pick Ophelia. And actually go with a Silhouette. Kind of interesting. I expect TDM to really think about that Glacius, especially with that Ophelia in the pool. Of course, Chessie's a great... Yep, they do go with the Glacius as well as the Polywog. So kind of questionable pick there from Complexity. I definitely thought they were going to go with the first pick Glacius, but Silhouette still definitely strong, and we'll have to see what they make of it.
Yeah, apparently this time, I mean, usually it's a case of action. He'll play whatever carry, whether it's Draconis, Magebane, Silhouette, Dark Lady, Forsaken, Archer, I mean, whatever you needed to play. So, and with Magebane being unbanned as well, you do look at that maybe a little bit and kind of like, well, I mean, yeah, sure, if they pick Silhouette with their first 2 picks, and could have just gone Mageman if you really wanted, one of those carries. But they wanted the Silhouette this game, and so they'll get it. Maybe that's a case of obviously being down 1-0 here. Hackman, he is very comfortable with Silhouette, maybe more so compared to the other carries, and maybe just wanted it for this time around. Aluna Magnus is going to be the follow-up here for Complexity. Obviously a very powerful combination there, especially if they lane together with the farming Magnus, can be very deadly. And now the final pick is going to be coming up for Trademark Esports. We'll see if it's going to be that carry or if they decide to go something else here.
Luna Magnus, that's very aggressive for Complexity. It's not normally what they do, but and actually Corrupted Disciple, kind of an interesting pick. We never
Noob
usually
G
see
loves
this.
him.
He does love Corrupted Disciple, so I'm interested to see how TDM's lanes are going to work. It seems like they do like Polywog and Ophelia, of course, picked up, but they are picking up into Iglesias, so we're maybe going to see an aggressive tri-lane with Ophelia, Magnus, and Luna, but if TDM is ready for that, they should be okay with Iglesias and just being passive against it. It's really going to come down to laning phase. Lots of mind games, I'm sure, will ensue.
Keeper Plague.
Keeper Plague. Breaky says Keeper Plague.
Keeper Plague. I'm going to do the calling game right here, I think.
Definitely Tempest is going to be picked up.
You think Tempest? All right.
I think even maybe Tempest, that's what I was going to say. Tempest
or
Bubbles.
Tempest Bubbles. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay, of course.
So Tempest Bubbles, though, obviously very, very powerful. I mean, once again, Trademark Esports will have a fantastic teamfight team. I mean, a lot of AoE synergy there. The lanes definitely make sense as well. So
Soccer Bubbles.
And is that, yeah,
the
I was going to
football.
say, the football bubbles. How dare you say soccer?
Sorry.
We have a largely European-based
Football.
fan base. The football bubbles, I've actually not seen the skin yet, so I'm kind of curious to see it play out if he chooses to go. I don't know if he is obviously switching around. But now Complexity will have their final choice to keep it the Force, Plague Rider, or Tremble. We'll see what they go with here. But, you're commenting on that Aluna Magnus pickups, how maybe that isn't like Complexity to maybe go those picks. But
I mean, I love Aluna Magnus. It's so strong. Synergizes perfectly. I think they have a really great team makeup, actually. They have lots of team fight.
Oh, wow.
Between Ophelia, Keeper of the Forest, I mean, all those heroes. Great hard carry is Silhouette. So we're probably actually going to see... I don't know, actually. Are we going to see Moon Meander's actually playing
lane? Yeah.
Moon Meander's playing that keeper. Yeah, it's probably going to be a Suicide Keeper. I want to say an Aluna Magnus mid, with the farm going on Magnus, of course, Aluna being played by Franzi, and then Chessie in that jungle with a Silhouette as a solo short against the Bubbles. So laning that is actually going to be quite good. The only problem is Keeper is going to be going up against probably a dual lane Iglesias. I can't even think of the hero, Corrupted Disciple, who, by the way, does not really have that hard carry potential like something like a Silhouette. So interested to see how this game is going to pan out. They don't really have the late game, in my opinion, but I think their lanes are a bit stronger. That being said, Aluna Magnus is going to punish this this Polywog mid, but actually Polywog is going to top, so he's going to be soloing against this this Keeper of the Forest in the top lane. They're going to have dual range mid, being Iglesias and Corrupted Disciple mid. So I think that's actually a good decision from TDM.
Yeah,
They do like to dual lane mid a lot.
Well, you're also commenting on the Corrupted Disciple and how maybe he's not as hard of a carry as Silhouette. It's this overall, though. I look at this Hellborn team and that it screams team fight to me once again, and somewhat similar to the last game. So you are right, though. Complexity does have a good amount themselves, passive encounter. So really, it's going to come maybe not as powerful as last game. With that said, we don't get to see the football bubbles, unfortunately. Zai does not come through for us. He decides to go with Captain America bubbles instead. Of course, he is headed towards the bottom lane, and Tempest will very likely just eventually end up in his own jungle. But yeah, something I wanted to bring up, Moon Meander, as you mentioned, playing this Keeper of the Forest, and again, Moon Meander obviously a fantastic player, and plays the suicide role often. But I do kind of wonder, how much experience does he have on Keeper of the Forest specifically? So I wonder, if that's going to play a role here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. He actually summoned another set of trees. He's going to have to go back to base to get some mana, so he's going to be up to this lane late. He's going to be up to this lane significantly
really late,
So will he be able to pull with these? I don't even know if it's going to make to the creep wave in time. It's going to be close. Actually, they should. They have about 325 movement speed, so it's going to pull that creep wave. Limp is going to have a little bit difficult time trying to... Actually, what he should do, really, is pull that creep wave into the one that Moon is pulling himself. But, of course, he doesn't know the lane composition, so he's going to play a little bit scared. One thing to note, I want to see if this ward that Franzi placed up here in the top river is actually going to block this medium camp. If it does, that's good. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to, so it's not going to block it. Kind of unfortunate. You really want to block that and utilize that. Minus is going to be jungling. He's actually screwed up his... Oh, no, never mind. He was using the the elementals from the first spawn. But anyway, good lane setup, I think, from TDM. I think they have a little bit of an edge. Bubbles going to be fending off against the Silhouette. Of course, Silhouette's going to have a great time here. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup, though, up top. Polywog versus Keeper of the Forest. You see Keeper of the Forest, both of them hitting level 2 right there as a result of what just happened. But yeah, middle lane, that's definitely something we should keep our eye on, because the possibility of a kill here in the middle lane is, well, very likely, especially around that level 3-4 mark, as really, especially with the Aluna Magnus, if they happen to catch really that Glacius out, then he is going to be a guaranteed kill. Obviously, Corrupt Disciple, nothing that he can do in terms of stopping it other than just do raw damage and trying to scare them off in the end. So keep a close eye on that lane to see how that one plays out. But you do see Tempest here, again, farming away in the jungle, having a good time, a good start himself. And then, of course, Ophelia, being played by Chessie, is also going to be farming herself in her own jungle. Bubbles versus Silhouette, I think we talked about it before. I mean, really a matchup that you would favor for Haction here in this case, playing that Silhouette. And Bubbles by Zai, not going to be the greatest chance for him. What about Polywog versus Keeper, though? I mean, how do you see that playing out?
I actually think Keeper has a little bit of an edge, to be honest, because he's not going to get harassed, at least by the auto attack damage from Polywog. Now, he didn't go with Shield. He went instead the Guardian ring, so he's going to go for an early ring of the Teacher. But with that Hatchet, with that 72 maximum damage on his auto attack, he's going to be able to freely farm, get last hits very, very easily. So Polywog, I actually give a little bit of an edge to him, but that being said, Tempest is up here. He does have the potential to maybe put some harass, but of course, Keeper of the Forest with that Nature's Veil, so I get it correct this time, will not be able to be ganked so easily unless you get Dust or Ward of Revelation, but that's 100 gold that you don't really want to spend this early on. Now, I did want to mention one thing with the warding. Is actually really good job. I gotta say, I was totally thought this was going to happen. Insania put a ward down here next to Kong. We're a little bit lower because the one thing you don't want in a setup is to get ganked by Ophelia around the mid lane, like behind the mid lane. So what we normally see is a ward here, right actually where the Ward of Revelation is placed by Franzi, down here in the bottom river. But it's actually placed above. It's placed on that hill next to Kongor, so they're not going to be able to spot out that ward. So they're still going to have vision of the Ophelia ganks, and that's really the key, I feel like, for Complexity to get back into the game, or to jumpstart their lead here, is to get ganks from Ophelia on the mid lane. Because it's very easy to set it up with the Luna Maximus, but they have vision of him now. So
very interesting, actually. Yeah, you see, again, that goes to show you just the high-level play that obviously all these players are at. And Franzi was anticipating that ward of sight here clearly, but that wasn't the case. Obviously placed over here by Insania. It is going to be wearing out here in the next minute or so. So Ophelia, depending on when she chooses to maybe make something happen, may not affect her in the end, but she is still farming away. Now, here she goes, actually. It looks like she is heading towards the middle lane here, so right on cue, but it is going to be spotted. The Skeleton King heading over, and Insania, no doubt that Ward of Sight spots at least kind of creeping around a little bit. As you see, it's kind of coming to the middle, but both Glacius and Corrupted Disciple playing past that.
Oh my god,
going to fall back. Yeah, Silhouette nearly dying right there. Bubbles went for the kill with the Shell Surf. But Silhouette barely stays alive himself, so Bubbles, man.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am surprised. I mean, he's gotten 14-1 to an 18-3 against the Silhouette in the short lane. Silhouette, honestly, really should be crushing. Zai is really kind of a standout suicide player, in my opinion. He plays it frequently, plays it well, plays it aggressively, as I think he really should in most situations. He'd really need some more regen, though. I think he's waiting for a little bit more gold from his bottle. He's in a little bit of trouble, though. Ophelia's coming down here. He's going to be just fine, but doesn't have mana for a Shell Surf. We need a little bit. Yeah, no, he does. So he's going to be okay. I think he's just going to spam this out, maybe get his bottle. But, yeah, he's doing really well down here. I'm quite surprised. That's going to be a big factor, I think, in this game. TDM does have a small lead here in the beginning. Of course, Mina's playing that Tempest is going to be farming a lot quicker than Ophelia. And I've talked to Chessie and actually thinks that Ophelia farms faster than any jungle. I have to disagree with him there. I think Tempest definitely outfarms Ophelia. And if you see it right here, I mean, Chessie's been doing nothing but farming, but he's only level 3. Of course, he did maybe try to set up a couple ganks that slowed it down a little bit, but yeah, he is definitely getting outfarmed by this Tempest, and the reason being is Ophelia takes over a creep while Tempest simply kills it.
Exactly.
So it seems very obvious to me why Tempest farms, and actually look at that, 3 levels ahead of Tempest and Ophelia, so there's really no question in my mind.
Top lane in the meantime. Keeper of the Forest going to root to try to counter this Polywog Priest, but the tongue tie comes out. The wards, is it going to be enough damage? No, the invis at the last second, and Moon Meander will survive. The big thing to know right here, those are physical damage wards, and Keeper of the Forest did have his armor on, I believe, when he was getting attacked by them. So he was dropping very slowly with that, despite a solid ward trap coming out there from Polywalk Priest, but unsuccessful in the end, and no Bloodlust kill. Just like last game, it took a while. Still just yet, now 5.5 minutes in even. So again, very, very good play, getaway in the end by Moomiander right there. And on that note too, Limp on Polywalk Priest, choosing to go, he went Ring of Sorcery, first item. He did just pick up his boots from the side shot, but what do you make of that too?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I think he's going to need the mana. And he's trying to spam out what he needs to do against this Keeper. He needs to spam him out. Actually, Keeper in a little bit of trouble. He might get stunned by Tempest. No, he's regen too much HP. So both ultimates are on cooldown now for Polywalk. And actually, a vote to pause comes out from Haxter, and he says something.
Something.
So we know exactly what's going on.
Something is wrong with the server in the end. So apparently there is a little bit of lag on Haxter's side, so he's going to go ahead and reconnect here and hope that it's too much of an issue and it could just be figured out and resume the game. But, you know, that maybe goes back a little bit to this bottom bubbles here and, you know, how we talk about Zai and the success that he's actually had at this bottom lane. I mean, in the end, Haxter is still winning, but again, that's to be expected and almost, but as we talk about, really shouldn't even dominate the lane. But yeah, Bubbles has done a fantastic job. 19-2 creep farm. He's level 5. Silhouette is 29-4, though, with, of course, being level 6 herself, and she is the top farmer in the game on her team, but the top farmer overall does go to Tempest, as you referred to earlier. Minouts and Tempest, fantastic start for him, and then Polywalk Priest actually the next in line as well, and very likely going to see a top tower pressure here at least, but of course the wards are on cooldown for Polywalk Priest, so I don't think it's going to be a tower kill, but we'll see how close it is. You see Haxton right there. Making mention that unfortunately he's having a little bit of lag issues, but hopefully not the biggest. 5-6 happens.
One thing I did want to point out though with the mid lane, I was expecting B-Kid to get kind of crushed up here. Actually, top lane, something's gonna happen. It was just a push. There is an invisible Aluna. It actually has the invisible rune, so it doesn't have to really stay next to the trees to stay invisible from that nature's veil from Keeper of the Forest. But B-Kid actually has a very good farm here. Does pick up a haste rune. He has a bottle ready. And look at, he's actually level 5, 27, I want to say 27 after he gets his creep kill, but there's the stun coming out. He's trying to do a little bit of chip damage onto this Corrupted Disciple. But Corrupted Disciple only 18-7 compared to a 28-12 Magmus. So differences in creep scores all across the board. You would expect Bubbles to be really hurting. Of course, Silhouette's still definitely winning that lane, but it was just kind of interesting. He almost got the kill on him. Glacius in a world of hurt right now. The stun coming out from the invisible Aluna. Magmus, a couple more damage. Can he get the health potion off? Health potion off. One more auto attack. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. So Franzi does get the last hit there, and a good Bloodlust skill coming out for Complexity.
Yeah. Wow, finally Bloodlust kill. Yeah, just over 7 minutes in, finally happening. Keeper of the Forest trying to go invis, but the great one revelation put down by Limp, spotting Keeper of the Forest despite being invis. Tempest, of course, helping, and a great ward trap on top of that. Obviously, they knew that he had the Nature's Veil. They prepared for it with that ward revelation. Ultimately set up the kill. Oh, stun away in the middle lane by Magmas just before the Kelp field came out from Bubbles. It looked like he was even a little bit late right there, so unfortunate for TDM. They could have had another great kill there in the middle lane, but they are also going to be able to push this top tower now as a result of that very easily, and that's going to be a decent gold advantage given to Trademark eSports. So that's the good news for them in the end. Corrupt Disciple, though, I mean, again, he has been struggling here in the middle lane. Yeah. But, you know, we'll see. What do you make of that? I mean, is that expected, and how should they adjust to that if so?
I mean, it's a Luna Magnus, man. I mean, that lane is very strong. Actually, Glacius just placed a ward here in the mid. Was probably spotted, though, by the ward already placed by Franzi, so that you expect that to get counter-warded here very quickly. But, yeah, at first, I mean, I thought Glacius Corrupted would be okay here. A dual range versus Magnus and Luna. That's what you want in a very strong lane like that. But, really, once Magnus and Luna get their levels, actually a lot of damage coming out on the Magnus right there, but once they get their levels, they can pretty much go on Glacius and kill him instantly. So Glacius has no part as far as harassing once the levels are up on Magnus and Luna. So, yeah, this is one of the bad things coming out for TDM is that I feel like Corrupted Disciple is not a very strong carry. He's good early on if you get lots of farm on him, but he's definitely not got that. Only 27 CS, 220 gold per minute. Compare that to Haxter, and he's basically got a free lane down here against the Suicide Bubbles. He's sitting at top farmer on his team, I should say, 51 CS, so he's definitely having a good time. But, you know, look at Minuts, 415 gold per minute. Compare that to the other jungler, Chessie, only 170.
Yeah.
So definitely winning in that category, and it's already got a tower kill to boot.
Yeah, that even goes back to not only for him, but Polywalk Priest. The success for him needed to be great as well, because, again, almost sacrificed, you could say, sending the corrupted Glacius lane middle for the sake of having Polywalk Priest, at least. Hopefully, he would be able to get a great farm and hope for the best that they wouldn't die here in the middle lane, which for the most part that has been the case. Again, Glacius the one death, but it has such a dangerous combination. So Polywalk Priest, no doubt, needs to have a great game himself. He's going to port away right here. He's in the middle lane, but no gank is going to be happening. Meanwhile, it goes to the bottom, though, and now Silhouette may be in a little bit of trouble. Expect a Kelfield to come up from Bubbles any second now. Silhouette, you're going to die right here. Haxring takes the ward trap. There comes a tongue tie, the shell serve on top. And nice heal from Ophelia, though. The tree grapple away, and Silhouette will survive for now. And now Ophelia's trying to turn this around. Great minute touchdown on top of the Skeleton King. Out comes a nuke, and down goes Polywalk Priest. Excellent save by Chessie right there. Obviously, Moonmeander being there on Keeper the Force also helped. And what a turnaround in the end. You see the shell serve canceling the health potion, actually. So some kind of good news. But great turnaround from Complexity.
Yeah, actually, Bubbles in a lot of trouble. If the Skeleton King has his nuke off of cooldown, oh no, he's not going to have the Shell Surf. He's not going to have the Shell Surf nor the take cover. Bubbles in a lot of trouble. Oh, that was unfortunate. He's going to die. Actually, Francie, in the meantime, gets a pick on Noob G. Haxor gets that kill on Zai. So, Zai, I'm not quite sure what you were doing right there, but very, very unfortunate right there for TDM.
I mean, that just started. The fact that they didn't kill Silhouette right there just started a chain effect to happen. That's what what occurs when you don't get a big kill like that. So really unfortunate for TDM, but again, great getaway by Haxrin at the same time. And as you said, Noob G also happened to catch that on camera. He was actually going down towards the bottom lane. He was looking to pick up the Illusion Rune, but he got caught out by Magnus Aluna and eventually died because of that. Eruption was even used by Magnus. So talk about just swing of momentum all of a sudden. Really 3 or 4 kills even happening within the span of a minute right there. So 4-1 hero kill advantage overall. Complexity now has a 1,300 gold lead, 2,300 experience lead. And the numbers definitely looking really good for them right now. You did talk about earlier, though, Tempest is having a great game himself, but it drops off quite a bit after him. So yeah, you gotta wonder again, is that going to be enough here for TDM?
Yeah, I don't know. I hate this corrupted pick. I feel like it's such a bad pick here. I feel like if he was something like a Forsaken Archer, not only would he have greater lane presence, but he'd have the ability to carry harder as well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, he has he has really no farm at all right now. He's trying to make it up here in the mid lane, but in the meantime, you got Magnus, who's got his farm has dropped off a little bit since he farmed well in the mid, but he's still relatively close to his portal key and needs about another 900 gold or so. Keeper the Force also, he's doing okay. Did have a rough time in the top lane, but he's bounced back. Still has 60 CS. Chessie, of course, great heal there coming out for Ophelia. That's one of the great reasons. It's one of the reasons why you pick Ophelia is that heal potential. And of course, he goes his Ring of Sorcery. He really likes that Ring of Sorcery onto Ophelia, so they're not going to have an early Astrolabe. Maybe that's going to be picked up by Keeper the Force here soon.
Yeah,
top lane.
You said it though, top lane. Yeah, Keeper the Force getting jumped on right here. Is going to be enough for the kill in the end. No, it's not. And here's a turn. Nice Magnus done right there. In comes Glacius actually. Trying to help the Tempest ultimate going to be used. They really want this kill to Magnus, and well, they're going to get it as a result. So at least they set up a kill in the end. But once again, wards used, and Keeper the Force able to get away. And in the meantime, bottom tower is pushed in by both Silhouette and Ophelia right there. And they're going to keep this going, actually, unless, no, yeah, they are going to keep it going. It's just Bubbles here, so why the hell not? If you're the teleport team, Chessie comes out with the Skeleton King trap, actually, but not going to be close enough with the Minotaur stun. In fact, another port coming in for Polywalk Priest, so Silhouette and Ophelia may want to think about getting back now. But so again, in the end, TDM got a kill out of it, but Moonmeander able to tank the damage initially and survive. Middle tower push now incoming from Corrupted and Tempest. I don't think it's going to be enough for the kill, though, and they will have to fall back before it eventually happens.
I definitely agree with that ulti. That's even though it was a solo ult on one hero, you hate to see that off cooldown. So it was a good kill. It was a kill on Magnus, who was getting closer and closer to his portal key. He also after that death, I want to say, bought an Amulet of Exile, so he's actually further away from his portal key than he would have been. And then also an aggressive ward coming out from Insania in that lane ward, right about where Magnus is. So that's a good ward placement to have. Again, while some good things are still happening for TDM, they're playing against a hard carry Silhouette who's basically got free farm, 360 gold per minute. But I feel like the Corrupted Disciple pick is just so weak, and he's not going to have the ability to carry. They are going to have good team fight, good Tempest ultimates, I'm sure, but I don't know if they're going to win this in the late game.
I mean, as I said earlier, this is a signature hero for TDM. Noob G specifically, he does like playing this hero. We have seen great success in him in the past, but it has been great farm at the same time. Now, Bubbles in a little bit of trouble. Song of the Sea going to be used right there. Keeper the Force. Portal Key's in, though, with the root. But now he's just trying to get away as he got the Nature's Veil off. As the kill fill will send Ophelia, though. And Ophelia will fall in the end. So big dive opportunity there for Complexity. But it does not pay off in the end. I mean, they went basically in between the two towers right there. Very risky move. Yeah. And obviously ends up being a 1-for-0 exchange. So, hey, TDM will take the kill, and now they're going to counter push this middle lane. And there's a good possibility that they should get this. Of course, they are setting up for some Nanai attempt. It's going to be so close, though. Keeper the Force, Bloodwire Priest running in. Is it going to be the kill? The invulnerability is going to be used at the last second. Just barely going to delay it. Illuna? No, it's not going to be in time. And they will get the tower kill in the end. So, yeah, good turnaround there for TDM.
Yeah, I mean, they knew that the Keeper the Force ultimate was off. It was kind of, unfortunately, wasted there in the mid lane. Like you said, the perfect word was just, it was too risky of a play. They didn't have everyone there. They're fighting. They're diving past onto a bubbles, mind you. If it was something like diving on a polywog and getting all your spells off before he died, before he was able to cast anything, then it would be maybe okay. But the fact that you're diving past that tower, right in between both those towers, you don't know who's going to have that homecoming stone ready to go. And like I said, it was on a Bubbles who has great turn potential. It's harder to kill a Bubbles, of course, who has to take cover and the Shell Surf ability. So an unnecessary dive, not to mention the ultimates on cooldown from Moon Meander was a big role into why TDM pushed that mid tower.
Now we see Crypt the Disciple. He roams down to the bottom lane with the team, but then he ports top, and he's going to clean up this creep wave here and perhaps the next one to get some decent farm out of it. However, in the middle lane, Magnus, the Keeper of the Forest now, they're going to make a massive push. They know at the very least Crypt the Disciple will not be here, but the support is incoming, including Bubbles, who may get caught out right here. No, it's just an Ophelia, so Bubbles will be fine, and they will protect the middle tower push in the end. Will Complexity commit to more of a push here? They're kind of interested, it looks like. They're still hanging about, but I don't know if they're going to ultimately collapse. And, of course, Haxman on Silhouette, still farming the bottom lane. He is getting closer and closer to that Nullstone now. I guess he needs the Blessed Orb first. He needs the 2100 gold for that before he finishes the Nullstone in the end. Corrupted Disciple, though, his farm is starting to increase a little bit here. He is now up to 266 gold per minute. And like I said, right now he is free farming. But that goes back to the point earlier once again that, we have seen it before them. It's been very successful, but he usually always gets off to a great start. And here, this was definitely a different circumstance with that said. So, and you made some good points that he may not be the most, efficient in terms of being behind, especially against a hero like Silhouette. So we'll see, though, in the end, of course, how that pays out. Blessed Orb, though, just finished on Silhouette. This middle lane, action still a brewing here. But it's very, very timid in terms of what is actually going to happen. Corrupted Disciple does have a homecoming stone, and he is ready to port in if need be. So that you see the Ophelia minions in the front lines. Are we going to see the Skeleton King? No, we're not.
Keeper the Force blink, by the way. I don't know if you mentioned
Yeah, he had that in the last fight.
Yeah, he did.
So will he use it right here? There goes a tower kill. There's a jump on a Tempest, and now Tempest is in a lot of trouble. However, the counter hex on a Magnus in the meantime. Tempest will fall, but Magnus may also fall here. As a result, yes, he will. Keeper the Force did jump in the background, though, as he gets root off. But at what cost right here? He's dropping. Get the Invis off, though. He's going to be fine for now. And the Legion team is just completely on the run. So in the end, a 1-for-1. As they did get the tower. Oh, nice snipe by Bubbles right there. He catches Keeper of the Forest.
I'm sorry
Invis.
for shouting, but that was amazing.
GG. I didn't catch it on camera, so I feel shitty. But you let us know how big that was.
It was just perfect, man. Oh, I got to give mad props to Zai right there. Picking up. That's got to make him infuriated. But, I don't know if he was even no, I don't think he was invisible because he broke it when he went through the river here, but just the fact that he was able to snipe him now that Ward kind of saw him, this Ward in the mid by Insania saw him walking back that way, but just the tail end of the Shell Surf was able to hit him, and then he was able to finish him off with the Song of the Sea. So very important nuke. That actually ended up being a 2-for-1 exchange then. Of course, they did get the tower kill, and Haxton was the one that picked up the kill on the Minuts. But yeah, definitely, I feel like it's still a one fight there for TDM. They're not able to use this Keeper of the Roots, and in fact, I think Moon actually went a little bit late. I know he was setting up for kills, but it actually ended up getting Magma's kill because of how late he jumped in there. But nonetheless, it still has a very strong ability. Now, Moon's pretty much sitting on no farm except for that portal key. So he's pretty much a one-hit wonder as far as I jump in there, ulti, and that's pretty much it. So if they take him out, it's going to be really easy, I feel like, to fight. Now, of course, Minuts, he did pick up a Tablet of Command, so going Ghost Marcher's Tablet of Command, kind of an interesting build, if you ask me. I feel like if he went for something like a Well, actually, now that I think about it, a portal key into the Shrunken Head can still easily get countered by the Keeper of the Forest ultimate. It can easily get countered by the minions from Ophelia, that's right. And of course, Chessie's a very, very good Ophelia player. You got to expect that he's going to be right on top of that. So I think Tempest is going for more of the team fight, more of the utility build on Tempest, and I feel like that's appropriate. And it's something that he's more comfortable with.
Yeah, this is one of those games where I'm usually a huge advocate on Tempest Portal Key, just because it sets up some great ultimates, obviously. But I agree with you. I think in this game, it honestly makes sense, the route that he's going with the tablet first. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an Astral Light next, to see just more pure support items, rather than trying to get that Portal Key as soon as possible. But he's farming away in the jungle, as he was last game, of course, when he played Keeper of the Forest. Fantastic game there.